homeschooling is not for the weak, and it's also something not to be alarmed with. So with this homeschooling journey, I realized that every homeschooling curriculum have major similarities. So, everything from circle time and singing and, time out in nature, crafting and painting, baking, there's a lot of similarities, and a lot of things go hand in hand with these curriculums. So speaking for myself, when I first got into homeschooling and I started doing all this research, I felt like I had to be very on top of it. Everything had to be perfect. I had to do everything verbatim off of curriculum. And I realized that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to abide by every little single rule. You don't have to be so particular when it comes to this journey. And I think that's very important that I speak this out, because a lot of us think that everything has to be perfect, and I understand that. I consider our household very flexible. We believe in many curriculums. We practice different curriculums and different philosophies. Going into this route and looking up everything, I went on YouTube, I've looked up, so much information online of how to homeschool and what curriculums are necessary, and what I came across were mainly Montessori and Waldorf principles. So those two mainly. And I found some really great things from Montessori teachings. I found some really great things from Waldorf, and I just started picking out things that I liked from each curriculum, from each philosophy, what made sense for our household. Sorry, the dogs. So one is, I try to involve my son in everything that we do. I feel like during this stage, preschool stage, toddler stage, they are mimicking everything that you're doing, and they're watching us, and they are very curious, and they are literally learning from you based on your actions, how you speak, your hand gestures, like what you do. they are looking, they are watching. And so I like to incorporate him, my son, our son, in everything that we do, you know, whether it's doing things outdoors, you know, the hobbies that we do. You know, I incorporate him in my videos, in my life. I have him help with chores. I have him help with cleaning up the house. Just everything. I like to really involve him. You know, when I'm reading, he's watching me read. We read a lot of books. And 2, it is very important for us to get out of our house, because as you know, homeschool, we are home for the most part. But I like to take things outdoors, you know, if we're having kind of, I don't know, an off day and we can't physically get out, or we can't go to the park or something, like I like to have us hang out in our backyard and get that sun that we need and just feel the vibration of being outdoors. And it literally shifts the energy. It's just a great way of grounding. It's just great to have a different setting and to change things up a bit. And 3, going with the flow. So, you know, us adults, we have feelings, we have big feelings, you know, we're constantly going through different moods and shifting all day, really. And so children are the same way, you know. I don't ever expect my son to have this chipper mood or to be perfect. But what I've noticed is that I have to accustom to his mood or his feelings, you know. Really be mindful of that and really careful of how we start our day, really. You know, just being very observant as the parent, asking, you know, my child, like, how he's feeling, you know, maybe even asking him, how are you feeling? Just being a good observer. This dog won't stop. So sometimes if I notice my son is having some downtime, you know, I don't force him to do any sort of curriculum, you know, I just have him go with the flow. And literally that's how it is every day. Like, every day is different. It's never the same. And I leave it up to him, and which is why I'm huge with unschooling. You know, I never want him to do something that he doesn't like. I never want to force anything upon him. And 4, nothing has to be perfect. I think that we are constantly seeing things on social media. We are constantly seeing our peers and family members, and, you know, how everyone just does their thing and how they do their schooling and how, you know, they do their teachings. I think each family is so very different, you know, and some days you may not see eye to eye, you know. Your curriculum could be completely different from a family member's or a friend, and that's okay, you know. I think that a lot of times we can question ourselves and things can kind of seem overwhelming because, you know, we want things to be perfect, especially if you are like in the beginning of this journey. You want things to be perfect and you want to do the right thing for your children, you know. So you're kind of like in this battle of like almost deprogramming yourself. And this is why deschooling is so important and why I talk about it. Understanding who you are as a being, understanding your values and your philosophy, your whole approach, your spiritual approach, just everything, you know, goes into consideration. And number 5, don't get discouraged. You know, I think when you are barely into this path, or maybe you are already in it, some days it can seem just so much, you know, and I'm sure things get a little difficult as your children get a little older, you know. But I think if you could just go with the flow and understand that, you know, everything is a balance, you know. You know, I've been so inspired by so many women, and I think that the homeschooling community is just growing and growing, you know, for different reasons too. But, you know, I've been so inspired by so many women, and it's really helped me with my journey. It's really helped encouraged how I want things to be in my home. So this done. So I just want to be that encouragement and tell you that, you know what, it's going to be okay. Things are going to be okay, and slowly go with the path and gain more knowledge and gain more of who you are as a family. I am here to let you know that you can do it, and the journey may not always be perfect, but ask yourself why you wanted to do this to begin with. You know, find your why again, of why you even started this path and why it made sense for you and your family, for your child, for your children, and get aligned with those values again, and ask yourself if it makes sense for you, you know, because you never want to go into this approach where it's something forced, and just because you're seeing things online or people are telling you this is the path. No, like, you absolutely have to do this path if it aligns with you, if it aligns with your family, and if it just makes sense for your child. And for us, it just made sense, and right now it makes sense, and I don't know if things will ever change in the future, but as of now, I think this is the right way, and I think it's going to be in the right way. And honestly, in the future, it's up to my child to decide if he wants to continue doing this. And it's just so amazing to see my child's growth, and to see him just be a child and feel happy in his imaginative state, and get crafty, and just, it's so nice to see him comfortable and just not being pressured, you know, because of society, you know, and I really like that. And so again, this is to let you know that you are not alone. We have all felt discouraged at some point, and sometimes we are still feeling this way, but don't give up, you know. And again, ask yourself if this aligns, and you have a community here. You have a community. So we all have a story, and I hope this kind of helped you guys in any way, to let you know that homeschooling is nothing to be afraid of, and it's not to be, it doesn't have to be perfect. Perfection just doesn't exist. So I hope you found value in this video. I hope this helped in any way. And yeah, this is just a little bit of my journey and how I've dealt with discovering this path and how it's helped me. So am I stressed out? No, I'm not. I'm taking things very slow. I'm a big believer in slow living and curating to our best needs and wants. And so this way of living has been so helpful for myself and my family, and I honestly wouldn't see it any other way. So thank you so much for being here. If you like this video, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll definitely see you guys in the next video. Again, thank you for being here. Bye now.